85% of our students qualify for financial aid. 75% are first-generation students. 96% are students of color. The data shows that most of our students, being from this community, a diverse community of black and brown students, were affected severely by the pandemic. The resources that this grant will provide will support those students to help them continue their education aspirations. And so for that, we are eternally grateful and thankful for this grant program. We have on the stage today the organizations that are instrumental in providing and ensuring that those resources like the Golden State Education and Training Grant Program is implemented in the lives of these students. Those students will benefit greatly from this supplemental support. We have with us this morning Marlene Garcia, who is the Executive Director of the California Student Aid Commission. We also have with us Ben Chita, who is the Chief Deputy Cabinet Secretary of the Office of the Governor. And certainly we have with us this morning Dr. Francisco Rodriguez, our Chancellor of the Los Angeles Community College District. And along with him, we have one of our great students here who is involved in the Associated Student Organization. He is the Executive Vice President of the Los Angeles Southwest College Association of Student Organization, Benjamin Camacho. There may be other dignitaries here that are present this morning, and we certainly appreciate your presence as well. So with that, I will invite to this podium the Executive Director of the California Student Aid Commission, Marlene Garcia.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Dr. Culpepper and Chancellor Francisco Rodriguez and the teams that have worked to put this event on, and to the students who will benefit from these important programs. As mentioned, I am the Executive Director of the California Student Aid Commission. We are the largest need-based financial aid system in the country. We serve 500,000 students each year, more than 500,000 students, and we have a budget of $3.8 billion. That is the commitment of California to equity and affordability for California students. Today we're here to talk about the launch of a bold and new program that was adopted by Governor Gavin Newsom and the legislature to assist and help adults who have suffered job losses due to COVID and who are looking for opportunities to rebuild their careers, to rebound in this, from this pandemic. The program is the Golden State Education and Training Grant Program. As we all know, the pandemic led to workplace changes, to closures, and to massive layoffs. Those hit hardest were workers in some of the lowest skilled and lowest paying jobs. Many of these workers have faced an uphill battle in trying to rebound from the pandemic and find good jobs. The Golden State Education Grant Program is designed to help any adult who lost work due to COVID by offering a $2,500 grant to enroll in an education or training class or program that helps rebuild their career skills. All they have to do is enroll in one of California's public institutions, a community college, for example, and eligible workplace training programs to be eligible for this grant. So what's different about this grant? It is very different than traditional financial aid. All the applicants have to do is complete a short application, not the traditional long FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid or the California DREAM Act. We know that that's an involved process. This is different. All they have to do is complete a short application, verify that they lost their jobs during COVID or because of COVID, and enroll in an eligible training or education program. And they will be able to receive that $2,500 grant at the beginning of their instruction. The program is really designed to make it an easy way for adults to access career training and to help them quickly build those skills they need to re-enter the workplace. This grant also provides a critical stepping stone to adults to consider applying for full financial aid that would allow them to continue their education beyond just the training course. This will allow them to pursue a degree or certificate to strengthen their career opportunities and go even further. According to a report from the National Skills Coalition, more than 80% of all jobs in today's economy require education beyond high school. So this is a critical opportunity to connect with adults who find themselves in this predicament due to the COVID crisis in terms of jobs, and to help them re-enter and know that the state of California is here for them to support their continued growth and skill building so that they can have that strong and enduring successful career. That's why we're all here today. We're also here for one other special reason. California community college students have until this Friday, September 2nd, to apply for the Cal Grant program, to complete a FAFSA, which actually makes them eligible for the federal Pell Grant, as well as the Cal Grant, or for the California DREAM Act, which would make them eligible for the Cal Grant. They have until September 2nd, and if they're eligible, they're guaranteed a grant. So today, we're here to help individuals who want to complete the short form for the Golden State Education and Training Program. And then also, if they're so inclined and interested, they can step over and join a workshop that we're doing here today with the support of our wonderful colleagues at Southwest College and the LA Community College District to complete their FAFSA as well as their Golden State Education Training Grant. This is an opportunity only offered in California to help adults. We're not looking at just those students right out of high school or seniors in high school. We're looking at everyone who can benefit so we can reach that 70% college attainment rate that our Governor Newsom has made his priority. So now I have the distinct honor of introducing our next guest, the Chief Deputy Secretary for Governor Gavin Newsom. He plays many roles in Governor Newsom's administration, but one critical role that we're so grateful for is he is a senior advisor to the governor on education issues. And he has had his fingerprints all over these critical and really innovative, bold initiatives that Governor Newsom has inspired and adopted through the budget process. And so a partner to the California Student Aid Commission, who has really made the time to support these programs, especially these programs that are serving communities that don't get typically supported through financial aid. And so we're extremely grateful to Ben Cheetah, who has been a friend and a partner in so many important education initiatives. So Ben.
Thank you so much, Marlene. Thank you so much, President Culpepper and Chancellor Rodriguez, for hosting us, and for all of you. Good morning, first of all. I am Ben Cheetah. I advise Governor Newsom on all things education, and I'm here today because we're building something incredibly special in California, and the Golden State Golden State Education and Training Grant Program is a part of that. Let me give you two fun facts to kind of situate you and contextualize all of this. The first is our education budget this year alone is $170 billion. That is bigger than the entire education budgets of every state except for New York and Texas. Also, since the governor came into office just in the past couple of years, we've actually increased education spending by roughly 33%, or $40 billion. And just to kind of give you a sense of what that exactly means, $40 billion is roughly the size of the education budget of the state of Florida. So think about it. Just in the last couple of years, we have taken the entire budget of the state of Florida, the entire education budget, and we've grafted it onto California. That's what we're trying to drive. We're trying to drive this transformational change with those additional resources. So that's not just about kind of pounding our California chests in pride of what we're trying to build here. It's also about talking about the scale of change and transformation that we're really trying to drive. So here's what those investments are going to mean. It's going to mean that every new Californian born today is going to have a college savings account open for them. And for many of them, for millions of them, we're going to invest as a state up to $1,500 into their accounts because we want to demonstrate that we believe in every Californian's capacity to dream big and to achieve those dreams. And so that's what that's going to mean for newborns. It's going to mean universal pre-kindergarten. It's going to mean universal school nutrition, free meals. It's going to mean universal after school. It's also going to mean historic reinvestment in our UCs and Cal States and community colleges, more spaces for our students to go, easier pathways for them to get there. It also means the most generous financial aid system in America, and the third lowest debt burden experienced by California, among Californians experienced in the nation. So it means real impact for people. It means changes to lived reality. But we know we couldn't stop there. One of the most harmful myths in education is this idea that there's some point that your brain stops learning, your skills stop building, and that your heart stops dreaming, basically. There's this idea that sometime around the age of 20, you're supposed to stop growing and building and learning. This is a pernicious and harmful myth, and it not only doesn't match up with our values, it doesn't match up with the California dream and what we value in terms of equity and opportunity and dreaming. It also doesn't square up with the facts. Most people don't have educational journeys that are so cut and dry, that are so straightforward. Most of our educational journeys are long and winding and complicated. It means working on the side and providing for your family while going to class. It means taking a couple years off sometimes because you have to take care of an ill family member. It means all sorts of different obstacles or opportunities that we face throughout our lives. And so we have to actually honor and value the proposition that it is important to be a lifelong learner, and that's what the Golden State Education and Training Grants are all about. That's where they come in. It's about making sure that workers who are impacted by the pandemic have the opportunity to reskill and to upskill. That's not just sort of the wonky words of workforce development. It's also about dreaming big, right? It's about actually honoring the fact that people are going to have dreams for their for their families and for themselves well into their adulthood, and we want to be there to support it. The $2,500 that's part of the grant is certainly not going to cover all expenses that go with education, but it is the state stepping up and trying to support and trying to chip in and trying to invest and say, hey, we're going to be there with you when you are trying to dream big and you are trying to achieve those dreams, and we're there with you, and we're applauding you, we're cheering you on, and not only that, we're going to actually invest in you because we believe you're going to make it. And so that's what this is all about. So excited that this is that we're keeping this moving and that we're advancing this. And I'm excited even more to introduce the next speaker, Dr. Francisco Rodriguez, the Chancellor of the LA Community College District and an incredible leader and doer in all things education in our state. So, Chancellor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cheetah, for your outstanding leadership at the Governor's Office, and for being bold in education, and for being a true believer in what it is that we do. For so many of our students who attend community colleges, it's the first chance to go to college. You heard Dr. Culpepper mention the number of students here at Southwest College who are first generation, and all throughout the state, first-time students are getting their taste of the power and influence of higher education here. For many, it's the first chance. Some, it's a second chance. Community colleges enroll more students who are formerly incarcerated, students who are former foster care, students who are undocumented, students who are veterans, students who come from all walks of life to our academic shores to receive a better education. And we welcome all of them. For so many, it's a second chance. But the truth is, and Marlene Garcia knows this, for students who are attending community colleges, it might be the only chance to go to college. The only chance. So we remain open. We are doors of opportunity and hope. And I was sharing with Mr. Cheetah that Southwest College and all community colleges, we're at the intersection of hope and opportunity right here. So to be here today to announce this incredible investment on behalf of Governor Newsom of $500 million, medio de billón de dólares. Think about that. It even sounds more money in Spanish. For persons who have been displaced is certainly important for us. Y queremos aplaudir el gobernador por esta inversión. The strategy to allocate these resources from the budget to this Golden State Education and Training Grant Program is simply outstanding, and we're very proud with Dr. Culpepper to announce this publicly at LA Southwest College. This is a transformational investment that will support displaced workers to re-enter the workforce, to prepare these workers and students for both the jobs of today and tomorrow, those that lead to the economic recovery and growth that the state so desperately needs and is benefiting by. And what a great idea to partner with the state's community colleges, the UCs and CSUs, and other training providers. The community colleges are the state's most diverse and largest workforce training provider, so we're very pleased to be part of that. It puts these resources and education and a better life out of poverty within the reach of so many individuals. And it does help to boost our particular economy. And we know that the pandemic has indeed impacted more people of color, more women in particular, those who have been underserved and come from under-resourced communities more disproportionately than any other communities. So the fact that this is focused specifically on these dislocated and displaced populations, I think is smart, strategic, and a long-term investment that will yield dividends for the state of California. Millions of people were left unemployed or underemployed and feeling vulnerable because of the pandemic. Parts of our service economy, such as hospitality and tourism, restaurants, entertainment, the retail sectors, followed by mining, oil, gas, transportation, and leisure travel, childcare, and manufacturing, were all sectors that were hard hit over the last 2.5 years. So the opportunity to build up careers in these areas for people who were trapped in some cases in low-wage service jobs with an investment of this grant, we think is both opportune and is a wise investment. We know that through this education, workers in these sectors will have the opportunity to refocus on their careers, and they'll be less vulnerable to automation, less vulnerable to the crises that may lie ahead. So this training grant program is something that is indeed a wise investment. We also know that this is what we call the middle skills careers piece, where people can get really good jobs with more education, but not a bachelor's degree. Somewhere in between these middle skill careers that could be impacted and are provide very strong livable wages for our community. And community colleges in particular have proven their ability to grow our educational programs in these highly competitive middle skills areas. Nursing and allied health, biotechnology and manufacturing, information and communications technology are just a few examples of these growing sectors where less or sub-baccalaureate degrees and certificates can lead to livable wages. This is a really smart state investment. Here's why it matters and why we are well positioned to distribute these resources. Los Angeles County accounts for about 25% of the state's population. However, our county has an unemployment rate of 4.9% compared to the state average of about 3.9. So the economic recovery in LA County is a driver to the rest and has a significant impact on the health and welfare of the state of California and its economic recovery and financial sustainability. CSAC and LACCD have the infrastructure in place to achieve the goals of this particular grant. We ran a pilot last spring and showed that in LA County, half of the participants who benefited from this particular grant were from the LACCD colleges. So we know that this grant is much needed and this grant has an impact to improve the lives of others. All of our 9 colleges have job training programs. We have co-located America's Job Centers of California, AJCCs, on 5 campuses throughout LACCD that impacts and that has workforce partnerships and provides education and sector-based training, recruitment, case management, and placement services. So we're well positioned to distribute the grants, and other community colleges are as well. We also offer, and it should be known this, a very rich and robust non-credit adult education program within our 9 community colleges here at LACCD as a major focus, because we realize that these programs serve those individuals who were most impacted by this pandemic and the economic devastation that followed. Adult education is also a gateway, an entry point for so many immigrants and for working adults. So we invite folks to take advantage of our cost-free adult education programs. And we're doubling down here at LACCD on these growth sectors such as health careers, biotech, biomanufacturing, information computing, technologies. These are strong sectors that with good education can lead to livable wages here in California. But that's not all. We've also invested in the sectors of construction, maintenance and utilities, advanced transportation and manufacturing, water operation, and the green and blue jobs of the future. So we are well positioned for the jobs of the future at the LACCD community colleges. Community college credit and non-credit training programs in these middle school careers support all of these sectors. So opportunities abound. It's never too late to return to college, and these grants are on top of whatever financial aid you are already eligible for. So as I conclude here, the Golden State Education and Training Grant Program is bold, it's innovative, it will be ultimately effective, and is a win-win proposition for students and the regional and state economy. This grant addresses the critical gap in California's workforce talent pipeline by enabling more Californians of all ilks to pursue higher education by reskilling and upskilling, as you heard before, at their local community colleges, higher education institutions, or approved training grant providers. Building the skills and education opportunities for the next generation and beyond is a wise investment, and we applaud again the governor, the state legislature, and all those who were involved in making this happen. It's never too late to return to college with online classes, in-person classes, hybrid classes. We live in a decade and indeed a century of no excuses. Enroll in your local community college today and take advantage of this wonderful grant. So now it's my pleasure to introduce Ben Camacho, the Executive Vice President of the wonderful Associated Student Organization here at Los Angeles Southwest College. Come on up, Ben.
Okay. Good morning. Okay. Good morning. My name is Benjamin Camacho, Executive Vice President for Los Angeles Southwest College's Associated Student Organization. I want to welcome Chancellor Rodriguez as well as members from the Governor's Office, Student Aid Commission, and the media to our campus. I would also like to acknowledge all of you from our LASC family, especially Dr. Anthony Culpepper, our much appreciated intern president. I am honored to be speaking with you today in celebration of the Golden State Education and Training Grant Program. The monies from this grant will make a true difference and allow students who lost work during the pandemic to continue to focus on their studies so they can eventually walk across the commencement stage. As part of my responsibilities as an ASO leader, I interact with countless students and am constantly looking to direct them in ways they can find support. These students include Pamela Esanomina, who is studying sociology and received the grant this past summer. Like so many during the COVID-19 pandemic, Pamela's finances were a cause of apprehension and worry. She is a single parent dealing with the loss of loved ones while trying to keep her children level-headed. These past few years were a struggle, but she has been able to get through it thanks partly to these grants. There are so many Pamelas on our campus, they just need a little bit of financial support to get through the tough times that is all of us confront. Thanks to this grant, these students will be able to go into this semester with less financial baggage, holding them back from reaching their goals. On behalf of Pamela and the entire LASC student body, thank you so much to the governor's office and the State Student Aid Commission for continuing to make students a priority. And I'm gonna hand it to Judith.
Thank you so much for being here today, and thank you to our speakers for taking the time to help us celebrate this great milestone. We do have some more information. I'm happy to pass this out. We have some trifolds, flyers, and then also a run of show if you'd like to know who spoke today. We will be hosting a workshop to support our students in their applications for financial aid, given the September 2nd deadline for California Community College students, as well as any support with this specific program as well. We may have time for 1 or 2 questions. If there are any from the media, I will ask that our speakers help answer them.
¿Algún alumno en español? ¿Algún alumno en Spanish?
¿Algún alumno en español como un estudiante en español? Are there any students who speak Spanish? Are you able to answer any questions in Spanish? Do you want to come up here? ¿Tienen una pregunta para el estudiante en español?
No, solamente que nos hable en términos generales cómo se siente de aprovechar todas estas oportunidades que se están brindando.
Pues se siente bien que hay muchas oportunidades para los estudiantes porque casi muchos estudiantes no saben de esto y ahorita que se están saliendo estas oportunidades es bueno porque es lo que queremos todos superarnos y ayudarnos entre nosotros.
¿Qué le recomendarías a la comunidad para que se animara a volver a la escuela o capacitarse? ¿Cuál sería tu invitación?
Mi invitación sería que vengan a mirar cómo se sienten y que disfruten pues todo lo que pueda ofrecer la escuela, especialmente ESO, como estaba diciendo, que ayudamos en estudiantes.
¿Tu nombre y apellido?
Benjamín Camacho.
Gracias. Any other questions? ¿Otras preguntas? Okay, hearing none. No. Estamos bien. Okay. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll stick around if you'd like to see the workshop.